Hey guys, how are we doing? Back in another video from Mother's Basement. He's gone and done another PSA. I love these public service anime videos, they're so funny. And this is the Anime Dad Guide to Child Neglect. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm pretty sure we saw Evangelion characters on the thumbnail, so let's see where we go with this, shall we? I love that opening.
We live in is a tough, competitive place. It eats the young and optimistic for breakfast.
It does.
Makes lunch of the dedicated and hardworking, and takes its evening tea with a side of guys working at Starbucks until just one producer sees their screenplay.
Then
they'll really make it. As a father, it's only natural that you want to do everything you can to help your progeny thrive in this harsh world. You'd spare no expense to give them the best lives a human being can have as entrepreneurs, leaders, champions of industry, or heroes who save the world from evil when they're 13 and then the next 60 years of their lives just turn out okay somehow.
Right.
Yes, you'd do anything to make the dreams you have for your children a reality.
Yes.
And if you did, you'd be making a huge mistake. Because the best thing you can do for your child is nothing at all.
Yes.
You heard me right. The science is in, and after studying the lives of many high-achieving high school individuals, 9 out of 10 anime sociologists agree that the most reliable formula for raising smart, successful, and sometimes superpowered children is a healthy diet of fatherly neglect. Don't take that to mean you can simply slack off in your parenting, though. Practicing proper paternal neglect means maintaining a balance of callous apathy, occasional cruelty, and just enough kindness to keep your child's hope alive. It's a full-time job that requires dedication, careful planning, and many hours of practicing scowls in the mirror so as not to show your child even a hint of the fatherly love that you are raising them to crave.
Brilliant.
It's not easy by any stretch, but lucky for you, His Holiness the Animate Pope has sent me to help you learn how to neglect for success.
Neglect for success, oh my god. Here we go. Oh god.
Neglect can take on many forms, and figuring out the style that's right for your child is the first step to crushing their dreams into a fine powder that can then be sprinkled liberally onto their reality. There are two basic approaches that experts recommend, depending on whether your child is an extrovert or an introvert.
Right, okay, here we go.
More confident, outspoken children who thrive on and seek attention are best dealt with by not dealing with them at all.
Okay.
The less you can be physically present in their lives, the better. This doesn't mean simply running away from your family to indulge in your vices, though. There will be time for that, but if it's all you do, you're just as likely to turn your kid into a lazy cretin like you as you are to inspire them.
Leave stuff along the way.
If possible, you should enlist in some kind of scientific or military job, so important and time-consuming that you simply aren't able to see your family at all.
Right.
One that leaves you so exhausted that you can't even acknowledge them when you do. If your job is important enough, your kid will feel bad that you're not around and that they're making selfish demands of your time. They will strive to become worthy of your love and affection, seeking to become your equal, and when that proves not to be enough, surpass you out of sheer resentment. On the other hand, if your kid is quiet, shy, and happy to be left alone, you will need to take a different approach.
Right,
in his best-selling book, Get Out of Your Head and Into the Goddamn Robot, child psychologist Gendo Ikari recommends taking a slightly more active role in your children's lives, encouraging them to fight life-or-death battles, possibly alongside you, at every opportunity. In these cases, the constant physical danger that your children are in will more than offset the attention you have to give them and leave them feeling like you're not taking proper care of them. But it's still important to neglect their emotional needs as well.
Right.
When encouraging them to fight, remember to only acknowledge them for their physical capabilities
and nothing else.
If possible, you want them to believe that you don't really see them as a person at all, but rather as some kind of living weapon that you're using to serve your own amusement or ambition.
Amazing.
Of course, not every child fits neatly into one box or the other, so you may need to mix and match aspects of both approaches to achieve the best results. If you have more than one child, you might think that complicates things, but it only gives you more more options. If one obviously has more potential than the other, you can amplify the effect of your neglect by lavishing your lesser offspring with affection at every turn. This will leave your young prodigy wondering what's wrong with them.
Why not me?
Striving to improve in order to win your favor. In the
Oh my
event that
God.
both children are of approximately equal quality, you can instead push them to compete with each other for your time and care.
This is genius.
You may even get to enjoy doting on both of them from time to time.
Yeah?
Because so long as your love is a finite resource that they have to earn, they will end up doing a lot of the work to neglect each other for you.
Oh.
Now, if your children somehow don't hate each other, that's almost certainly because one of them is of inferior stock and knows their place in the totem pole.
Oh dear.
In such cases, you can still make use of the lesser sibling as leverage, making it clear that both of their well-being depends on the stronger one's success.
Right.
Regardless of your approach, as your child grows, their body will inevitably begin to change in scary and confusing ways.
Yes, it will.
And they will
Oh,
need
brother.
guidance to make it through those troubled years without accidentally blowing up a city block or two.
Or a
but
planet.
of course, you can't provide that guidance yourself. Fortunately,
Oh,
the
dear.
Anime Pope had the brilliant foresight to create the ultimate guide to anime puberty, your transforming
Which is
body
also a
and
good
you,
video.
which you can force your child to watch at your convenience or simply leave
Force them.
around the house or military bunker in conspicuous places for them to discover. on
Let them
their
find it themselves,
Depending
yes.
on what your child is going through, additional guidance may be needed, and if that's the case, we recommend enlisting the services of a professional mentor. Mentors can teach your children to unlock their
Like
hidden
Piccolo.
potential, train them in necessary life skills,
Yes.
like cooking, planning, and martial arts.
Genius,
And
they have
most
to meet someone to help them,
importantly,
so you
provide an
can't help
example
them.
of what fatherly affection should look
Should
like
be.
without ever actually being able to give them the parental love they crave. Assuming your kid isn't adopted or lab-grown, there is likely someone else who can provide that parental love, and you may be concerned that your spouse's
Oh
affections
my
could offset all
God.
the hard work that you're doing.
Yes.
In most cases,
Stop
you need
loving
to
our
concern
child.
yourself with this. If anything, the gap between your cold demeanor and their mother's doting will only make them crave your validation more. But if your child seems to be too happy and well-adjusted to succeed, you may need to do something about her. Without getting a divorce, obviously.
Yes.
We're anime Catholics, after all. It's much less sinful to murder her. Or at least put her in the hospital full
Oh
time.
my
If you're
God.
involved in dangerous secret
Oh my
experiments, consider
God.
asking your spouse to help with them. Or if that's not an option, simply suggest that she'd look cute with this hairstyle and let nature take its course from there. All that said,
dear.
we're not misogynistic cavemen here at the Anime Vatican.
No.
It is the 20th century, and we know full well that a strong mother figure can be almost just as capable as a father of providing the healthy,
Yes.
nourishing neglect that a child
You must
needs.
neglect also.
Some of those mothers may be watching this video and concerned that as men's hair naturally grows into spikes and they're naturally better at science, those ploys simply won't work on them. But don't fret, ladies. If your husband loves your kids enough to be a problem, I guarantee he won't be around long anyway. That said, if, as a father or mother, you find that your own parental instincts are making it too difficult to walk away and enjoy a nice glass of scotch while your baby sobs in their playroom, that is an option worth considering for yourself as well. It's hard to slip up and accidentally be there for your kid when you're dead, after all.
Ooh.
This should be taken as a last resort, though. Remember, the key to successful neglect is giving your child just enough hope to try. A shy or nervous kid
Not
might
too
shut
much.
down entirely if left to their own devices, but if your offspring is particularly optimistic and self-driven, your total absence from the corporeal world can have wondrous effects on their development, especially if you do something to make their life harder immediately before you go out. In one case study, a boy's parents managed to die while trapping a terrifying fox demon inside his body,
Really?
destroying
Yeah.
all his support
How did that
systems
go?
and branding him as a feared pariah within their community in one fell swoop. 30 years later, that kid's become the ninja president of a whole
Yep,
ninja country
he has.
with two beautiful kids of his own
Who
that
he
his
neglects.
presidential duties give him a great excuse to ignore. Most orphans won't be so lucky, however, so it's
Be
generally
lucky.
better to wait and use your death to greater effect later on in your child's life. Assuming you do stick around for the long haul, you will eventually see your child begin to do the incredible things that you've
You've always
always
wanted
known
them to
they
do.
could.
Yes.
You'll be more tempted than
Amazing.
ever
You'll be
in
so
such
proud,
moments
but
to
you
reward
must
them
not
with affection.
engage.
And for once, those instincts are correct. If you've done your job as an anime dad correctly up to now, it really won't take much. To your child's affection-deprived mind, a simple, polite acknowledgement of their existence will serve as greater encouragement than 1,000, what are the kids like these days? Beanie Gachimon toys? Mind cramps?
Yeah.
Pork knives? That sounds about right.
Bad stuff.
At this point, seeing even the faintest glimmer of genuine praise from you will become a world-defining, life-affirming event for
good
your
job.
child. And that can be a powerful motivator to drive them toward further success, but you must always be careful not to overdo it. This is a crucial stage in their development, after all, and praising them enough to actually satisfy their emotional needs, or worse, reconciling with them and rebuilding your bond, would be a catastrophic mistake. In a best-case scenario, by filling the gaping void you've created in their soul, you'll be removing their motivation to improve further, letting
They
them
must
settle for
surpass
merely being an
even
exceptional
further
heroic
amongst
genius
their
instead of a literal
levels
god.
of
And you
growth.
want them to be the best they can be, don't you? And that's not even the half of it. If you mend your relationship too quickly, especially if your child doesn't have any other serious emotional hurdles to overcome at the moment,
This
the
is
sudden
horrible.
positive
This
shift
is
in their
horrible.
emotions could induce a life-threatening psychological condition known as vexillum mortis, or
Yeah.
the death flag.
The death
This
flag.
condition severely inhibits its victims' motor functions and critical thinking skills when their adrenaline spikes, and causes their bodies to attract dangerous objects like shrapnel and falling debris through some as-yet unknown mechanism. For more information on death flags, please refer to So You Think You're a Zappelli. To protect your child's future achievements and also their life, I guess, it is vital that you deploy positive reinforcement precisely and sparingly, in such a way that they'll suspect that you might love them without ever knowing for sure. If you're lost for ideas, try curling your lips into a vague semblance of a smile while looking over their shoulder, saying "good work, team" to
well
a room they happen
done.
to be in, or if you feel you must interact with them directly, using fatherly phrasing like "you were useful to me." Now lastly, on
damn.
the subject of death, it is the nature of life that at some point you must leave this world and your child behind. And you can't slack off when it comes to that either. In order to make sure that your neglect affects your kid for the rest of their life, it is vital to ensure that your death is timed and executed, if you'll pardon the pun, for maximum impact. If you've taken to dragging your child into dangerous battles against the forces of evil, for example, try to die in a way that leaves them as humanity's last hope for survival. Or if
Amazing.
you're overseeing their adventures in more of a managerial role, make sure that your final apology is worded in a vague enough manner that they'll be left wondering what you really meant
What
for
did you mean
years
the whole
after it's
time?
cut off partway through by the building exploding. If your child is in less of a combat-focused field, you may have a chance to pass away from natural causes. Or if you've positioned yourself as their arch-enemy, they may come to kill you themselves. Both of these are obviously difficult to plan for, but you can make up for that with a strong finish. In your last moments, make sure to show respect for their strength, and offer up just a sliver of genuine love and affection right
Tiny
before
bit.
you shuffle
Tiny
off the mortal coil. If you've done everything right up to now, the confusion and bittersweet regret that this induces will stick with them for the rest of their lives. In all cases,
This is
your goal
such a
is
horrible
to leave them
video.
wondering what could have been if they'd been just a bit stronger and smarter, if they just
Oh,
figured out
God.
another way. This will ensure that they'll never feel satisfied with what they have, and keep them reaching higher and higher until they die old and miserable, unable to appreciate their own incredible achievements just like you. But they'll have more stuff than you did. And remember, having lots of stuff is the only thing that matters and makes being alive worthwhile.
Right, yes,
This
that's it.
message was paid for and approved by His Holiness, the Anime Pope.
Oh my god, that video was horrible. Wow, wow. That is what happens in all the anime, though. That is what happens. And that's what creates a powerful character. Oh my god. I don't really have much to say on that. I thought that was horrible, but that was hilarious. God. Anyway, thank Thank you guys very much for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos, and I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.